Hello everyone, this is Manohar Kumar, Assistant Professor of English at Government College Devgarh, Rasamand. History of English Literature. In the previous lesson, we discussed about the Georgian poetry and Georgian period. Today, we will talk about main literary features of Georgian period. The poets who published their poems in four anthologies entitled Georgian Poetry from 1911 to 1922 are called Georgian poets. Georgian poetry is rural in subject matter. Georgian poetry is rural in subject matter. Rural means rustic, delicate in manner, and traditional in form and technique. W. W. Gibson, Rupert Brooke, J. Masefield, and Ralph Hodgson are among the best known Georgian poets. The second, however, in the 1920s and 1930s, poets' search for a new poetic tradition is noteworthy, noticeable, or can be noticed. The late Victorians, which are called decadents, give way to the Georgians. We may say that these were the precursors or pioneers of the Georgians. Then the Imagists replaced the Georgians, but after a few years they themselves disappear. In the second decade of the 20th century, there has been another movement known as Dadaism. In the 1920s, Surrealism replaces Dadaism. There have also been experiments with Impressionism and Expressionism. These are art movements during this period. The disillusionment of the hope for a better world following the First World War finds expression in the poetry of this period. New writers in the 1930s find socialism and communism as the possible solution to overcome the economic depression caused by the First World War. So, we can say that the glimpses of the World War and the effect of the World War can be noticed in the literature of contemporary period. With the change of subject and attitude, the poetic technique have also been changed during this period. Many modernist poets imitate techniques of the 17th century metaphysical poets. Thus, about metaphysical, we will discuss in our next chapter. Metaphysical poets. Thus, these poets have wanted to break away from the convention, but at the same time, they are not entirely against tradition. They introduce verse liber or free verse, symbols, conceits, allusions, and quotations are so frequently used that poetry becomes obscure. Obscure means vague, unclear, tough, typical. A new kind of poetry composed with the fragments of the old appears. Verse labor or free verse is also used by William Shakespeare and the great religious poet John Milton. The modern literature is dominated by novels. This is the most important feature of this period. The modern literature is dominated by novels. Novels are the most written work during this period. It is more realistic and more concerned with social problems. Influenced by by psychology, modern novelists focus on the inner problems of the characters along with their social problems. Instead of simple chronological narrative technique, the use of stream of consciousness or the interior monologue. Stream of consciousness is also called interior monologue. Interior means inner, mono means single, log means conversation, dialogue, in which a character talks to himself. He murmurs, he mutters uh, in this technique is accepted as a main narrative technique of novels. The drama of the period also becomes realistic. Ibsen, a Norwegian dramatist, deeply influences English dramatic art in mirroring social and family problems. Contemporary problems have been so realistically intellectualized in the drama of this period that these plays, except the plays of Shaw, G.B. Shaw, seem to miss imagination. Poetic drama begins in this period. Poetic drama, especially uh, written by T.S. Eliot. Now, what is the stream of consciousness narrative technique? The stream of consciousness is used basically in novels. The stream of consciousness novels is the peculiar product of the 20th century. This particular kind of novel is also called the novel of subjectivity or the psychological novel. The phrase stream of consciousness was first used by William James in his Principles of Psychology in 1890. Dorothy Richardson in England, James Joyce in Ireland, and Proust in France are the chief architects of the novel of subjectivity. Virginia Woolf is the novelist who imparted form and discipline to it and thus made it a popularly accepted art form. James Joyce is the main exponent of the stream of consciousness novels, and his Ulysses is the finest example of the use of this technique in modern fiction. In Dubliner, written in 1914, a collection of short stories, he throws light on the life of the slum dwellers of Dublin. Portrait of the artist as a young man in 1916 is an autobiographical work, and the artist Daedalus, this is a famous character in English literature. The chief protagonist stands for the novelist. Ulysses in 1922 is Joyce's masterpiece. In this novel, the stream of consciousness technique finds its best exposition. The novel is set in Dublin and seeks to represent and reconstruct Dublin life in all its sordid realism. Sordid means dirty. It narrates in a rambling manner the wanderings of Leopold Bloom and Stephen Dedalus through the city of Dublin on one particular day. So, the technique of stream of consciousness is used in the work of James Joyce. Now, Mrs. Virginia Woolf, she was a feminist and she belongs to the school of stream of consciousness novelist. Her novels The Voyage Out, Night and Day, Jacob's Room, Mrs. Dalloway, To the Lighthouse, these are her famous works.